Hi friends, welcome back to our series of knowledge sessions on diversified topics. Today we shall be discussing on Sustainable Development Goals, also known as Global Goals, which are a set of 17 interconnected objectives established by the United Nations. They are number one, SDG 1, there are 1, 2, 3, they are called. SDG 1, no poverty. 2, zero hunger. 3, good health and well-being. 4, quality education. 5, gender equality. 6, clean water and sanitation. 7, affordable and clean energy. 8, decent work and economic growth. 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10, reduced inequalities. 11, sustainable cities. 12, responsible consumption and production. 13, climate action. 14, life below water. 15, life on land. 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. 17, partnerships for the goals. Let's see all these global goals, as we have seen, they are meant to address global challenges, promote prosperity, and protect the planet, ensuring peace and prosperity for all. These goals provide a shared blueprint for global development and are intended to be achieved by 2030. Then the key principles underlying these SDGs are universality, applicable to all countries regardless of development status. Number 2 is integration, recognizing the interlinkages among the goals to ensure no one is left behind. And the third one is leave no one behind, prioritizing the most vulnerable and marginalized populations. If you see the implementation strategy for this, all the stakeholders involved like governments, private sectors, civil society, academia, and international organizations. The funding needs are met from significant financial investments through domestic resources, foreign aid, and public sector institutions. There are also challenges for this. Mainly the climatic change impacts, economic disparities among different nations and different populations, political instability in the nations, and then the technological knowledge gaps, which is a very challenging task. So of all these things, if let's see one by one, the first SDG is no poverty, with a goal of end poverty in all its forms everywhere. If you see the current trends, by 2030, there will be 575 million people will still be living under extreme poverty, and only 1/3 of countries will have halved their national poverty lines. And world's vulnerable population, 8.5% of children, 7.8% of vulnerable people, and 23% of older persons. They are in low-income country only. They receive special protection cash benefits. Then if we see worldwide, countries have increased government spending on essential services like education, health, and social protection since 2015. It was 47%, and 2021, it was 53%. Then why SDG 1 matters? Because poverty eradication is fundamental to achieving all other SDGs. Without addressing poverty, issues such as hunger, health, education, and inequality cannot be effectively tackled. Sustainable and equitable progress requires breaking the cycle of poverty and empowering individuals to lead self-sufficient, dignified lives. For this, we have the focus areas. The first one is the social protection system, basically to develop robust social safety nets like pensions, unemployment benefits, and child welfare programs, and to ensure these systems they are accessible to most vulnerable, including women, children, the elderly, and persons with disabilities. Next one is access to economic resources to provide equitable access to land, property, and financial services like credit and savings, support entrepreneurship and small businesses to create opportunities for economic empowerment. The third one is resilience against disasters. We need to build infrastructure and systems to reduce the vulnerability of communities to natural disasters, climate change, and economic shocks, and also to promote insurance schemes and adopt capacity for at-risk populations. So the second one is zero hunger, SDG 2, with a goal of end hunger, achieve food security, and improved nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. We have seen more than 600 million people worldwide are projected to face hunger by 2030. And despite the dropping of this from 48.1% to 21.5%. Malnutrition persists worldwide, jeopardizing the children's well-being and future development. Children under age 5 are stunting at 148 million, wasting at 45 million, and overweight 37 millions. So why the SDG 2 matters is basically hunger is both a cause and a consequence of poverty. Eliminating hunger has far-reaching impacts on health, education, productivity, and economic growth. Sustainable agriculture also supports environmental conservation and biodiversity, laying the foundation for a thriving and equitable global economy. Then we have the focus areas for SDG 2, basically to access safe and nutritional food, to ensure that all people, particularly vulnerable groups like infants, women, and older adults, have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food throughout the year, and address inequalities in food distribution and eliminate food deserts. Increase agricultural productivity, promote modern agricultural practices and technologies to improve crop yields, especially in developing countries, support smallholder farmers who produce a significant portion of the world's food, and enhance access to land, resources, financial services, and training for farmers. The third one is sustainable food systems. Basically, reduce food waste at both production and consumption levels. Adopt practices that minimize environmental impacts, including soil degradation, water usage, and carbon emissions. Conserve genetic diversity in crops and livestock to ensure resilience against climatic change and pests. The third one is good health and well-being with a goal of ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Health is foundational to individual and societal well-being. Achieving SDG 3 ensures that everyone, regardless of location of income, can live a productive, dignified life. Furthermore, strong health systems contribute to economic growth, stability, and resilience against future global challenges. We have seen 25 million children missed out in important routine immunizations in 2021 and 6 million more than in 2019. And 146 out of 200 countries or areas have already met or on the track under 5 mortality age. And malaria cases have been increasing worldwide, and effective HIV treatment is a good sign, 52% since 2010, and at least one neglected tropical disease has been eliminated in 47 countries. That's exactly what the thing. And out-of-pocket payments, which has ruined the health of 381 million people, 4.9% of the world population, into extreme poverty because of out-of-pocket expenses for health. And that's why SDG 3 matters. To key focus areas, basically to reduce the mortality rates, lower maternal, neonatal, and child mortality rates through improved healthcare and nutrition, reduce premature deaths from non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, address road traffic accidents and violence-related deaths, combat diseases, epidemics of communicable diseases like HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and neglected tropical diseases, strengthen response mechanisms for emerging global health threats, including pandemics. And the third one is universal health care. To achieve universal health coverage, all individuals have access to essential healthcare services without financial hardship, and to provide affordable medicines and vaccines to all. Then we have quality education in detail with a goal to ensure elusive and equitable quality education for all and promote lifelong learning opportunities, fostering knowledge and skills necessary for personal development and sustainable society. Why SDG 4 matters is education is a cornerstone of development and equality. By providing individuals with knowledge, skills, and values, it empowers them to break the cycle of poverty, achieve personal goals, and contribute to sustainable societal progress. Achieving SDG 4 is essential for fostering innovation, building equitable communities, and driving global economic growth. And this is exactly what we have, the world falling far behind in achieving quality education. For this, the focus areas, number one is access to education to ensure free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education for all children, which improves access to early childhood education, tertiary education, and special education for marginalized groups, including girls, refugees, and children with disabilities, and expand access to technical and vocational educational training to enhance employment opportunities and support economic development that promotes skills relevant for the job market, such as digital literacy and entrepreneurship, and ensure all youth and sustainable proportion of adults achieve literacy and numeracy, provide targeted programs for adults and vulnerable groups to bridge gaps in basic education. The fifth SDG is on gender equality, with a goal to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls by eliminating discrimination, addressing violence, and ensuring equal opportunities and participation in all aspects of life. Why SDG 5 matters is basically gender equality is a fundamental human right and essential for a sustainable, peaceful, and prosperous world. Empowering women and girls improves communities, boosts economic growth, and accelerates progress across all other sustainable development goals. Achieving SDG 5 ensures that everyone, regardless of gender, has opportunity to live with dignity, safety, and equal access to opportunities. Then the focus areas for SDG 5 are number one, ending discrimination by remove legal, social, and economic barriers that perpetuate gender inequality, enforce laws and policies that promote equal rights for women and girls in areas like education, work, and property ownership. Then eliminating violence against women and girls, address all forms of violence, including domestic violence, sexual harassment, human trafficking, and harmful practices like child marriage and female genital mutilation. Strengthen legal protections and support systems for survivors of violence. Ensure full participation of women in leadership roles in political, economic, and public life, giving equitable participation. Promote equal opportunities for women in the workforce, including equal pay for equal work. Then SDG 6, we have clean water and sanitation, the goal to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for everyone, addressing access inequalities, improving water quality, and safeguarding ecosystem. Why SDG 6 matters is, we all know water is essential for human survival, health, and dignity. Lack of access to clean water and sanitation perpetuates poverty, disease, and gender inequality. Achieving SDG 6 ensures not only healthier communities, but also sustainable ecosystems and resilience against climate change. It is a cornerstone for achieving broader sustainable development goals related to health, education, and economic development. So the focus area of SDG 6 is access to safe drinking water to ensure universal and equitable access to affordable, clean, and safe drinking water for all communities, especially in rural and underserved areas. Improve wastewater treatment and increase recycling and safe reuse of water to minimize pollution. Address untreated domestic and industrial discharge that contaminate water resources. Safeguard and restore freshwater ecosystem, including rivers, lakes, wetlands, and aquifers, to maintain biodiversity and natural water cycles. Reduced water scarcity by managing water resources efficiently and ensuring sustainable extraction. Next, we have affordable and clean energy in the form of SDG 7, with a goal to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all by increasing the share of renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, and expanding energy access to underserved populations. Why SDG 7 matters is, energy is a cornerstone of economic development, poverty alleviation, and social progress. Affordable and clean energy powers industries, enhances quality of life, and is essential for addressing climate change. Achieving SDG 7 is not only supports other sustainable development goals such as health, education, and gender equality, but also helps to create a more sustainable and equitable global energy system. Focus areas for SDG 7 are renewable energy, transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal. Promote innovation and investment in clean energy technologies. Improve energy efficiency in industries, buildings, and transportation to reduce energy consumption. Encourage the adoption of energy efficient appliances and technologies. Ensure universal access to affordable, reliable electricity and clean cooking solutions. Prioritize rural and remote areas where energy access is limited or non-existent. SDG 8 is decent work and economic growth with a goal to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, decent work for all. The aim is to foster a dynamic economy that provides fair opportunities while respecting workplace rights and environmental sustainability. And why the SDG 8 matters is decent work and economic growth are essential for reducing poverty, fostering equality, and building sustainable communities. By creating jobs, respecting workers' rights, and supporting innovation, SDG 8 empowers individuals, reduces inequalities, and drives inclusive prosperity. Achieving this goal is pivotal to ensuring that economic progress benefits everyone without compromising the planet's health or future generations. So there are focus areas for SDG 8. First one is the productive employment, increasing access to full and productive employment opportunities for all genders and age groups, promoting sectors that create high-value jobs while enhancing labor productivity. Then protect labor rights and promote safe and secure working environments for all workers, particularly vulnerable groups like women, migrants, and those in informal employment. Eradicate forced labor, child labor, and modern slavery. And support entrepreneurship and encourage the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises. Invest in innovation and diversify economic activities to build resilient economies. Next one is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. With a goal to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation to drive economic growth and improve quality of life globally. Why the SDG 9 matters is infrastructure, industrialization, and innovation are cornerstones of economic growth and development. Reliable infrastructure enables efficient transportation, energy, and communication systems that are essential for modern life. Sustainable industries create jobs and drive economic progress while minimizing environmental impact. Fostering innovation enhances technological capabilities, improving productivity and addressing global challenges. So the focus areas of this SDG is enhance access to modern technology and foster research and innovation to advance industry economies, bridge the digital divide to ensure equitable technological progress, promote sustainable industrial practices to reduce environmental impact, increase resource efficiency, and adopt cleaner production technologies, ensure all communities, including rural and underserved areas, have access to quality infrastructure like transportation, energy, and communication systems, address disparities in infrastructure availability between developed and developing nations. The 10th SDG is reducing inequalities with a goal to address the persistent issue of inequality both within and between countries. This goal recognizes that disparities in income, opportunity, and social status can hinder progress towards sustainable development. Why this is important is inequality can lead to a host of negative consequences, including social unrest, and disparities in access to healthcare can lead to poorer health outcomes for marginalized groups. Inequality can drive unsustainable consumption patterns and environmental damage. By addressing inequality, we can create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world for all. So the key focus areas are economic inclusion that promoting equitable growth, creating decent jobs, and reducing poverty. Policy reforms with progressive taxation, social protection, and inclusive governance, and empowering marginalized groups through gender equality, disability rights, and indigenous people's rights, and youth empowerment. 11th SDG is on sustainable cities and communities with a goal to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Now, why this SDG is important? We have a dominant slums in the rise, air pollution is rising, and globally the public transport is affected, and 3 to 4 cities have very tough situation. And the SDG 11 is more important because of climatic change mitigation. Well-planned cities with adequate housing, transportation, and green spaces enhance the quality of life for residents. Sustainable cities can attract investment, create jobs, and drive economic growth. Inclusive cities promote social equity by providing opportunities for all, regardless of income or social status. For this, we have key focus areas in terms of urban planning, with spatial planning, infrastructure development, disaster risk reduction, and affordable housing with housing for all, urban renewal, and then land tenure security, efficient public transport, developing affordable for all, non-motorized transport, integrated transport systems. Then SDG 12 is on responsible consumption and production with a goal to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Why the SDG 12 is important? Because of sustainable consumption and production practices help protect the environment by reducing pollution and resource depletion. A circular economy can drive economic growth by creating new business opportunities. Sustainable consumption can reduce inequality by ensuring fair access to resources and promoting social justice. So the key focus areas are resource efficiency, promoting the sustainable use of materials, including recycling, reuse, and reduction, improving energy efficiency in industries, buildings, and transportation, reducing water consumption, and improving water management practices, minimizing waste generation through source reduction and recycling, maximizing the recycling and composting of waste materials, ensuring safe and environmental sound waste disposal. Then encouraging business to adopt sustainable practices and reduce their environmental impact, promoting the procurement of sustainable products and services, transitioning to a circular economy model that minimizes waste and maximizes resource efficiency. SDG 13 is on climate action, basically with a goal to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. As you know, Earth is in a tipping point, standing at the brink of climatic change. The world will exceed 1.5 degrees centigrade by 2035 and faces a 2.5 degrees centigrade warming by 2100. What we need is deep, rapid, and sustained CHG emission reductions by 43%. We need to reduce beyond that. And billions to trillions global climatic finance flows reached an annual average of 803 billion in 1920, which is a very significant move. Why this is important is climate change poses a significant threat to human society and the planet. By taking urgent action, we can mitigate climate change, and adapting to its impacts can help save lives and protect livelihoods. Climate action can help protect biodiversity and ecosystem services. The sustainable future depends on addressing climatic change. The key focus areas of this are climatic change mitigation, and focus areas for this is basically adaptation, then mitigation in terms of to what extent we can mitigate by implementing the policies and technologies to reduce emissions from energy, transportation, industry, and agriculture. And then climate policies, strengthening the international cooperation to address climate change, mobilizing financial resources to support climate action, particularly in developing countries, raising awareness about climate change and its impacts, and promoting climatic education. So the next one is life below water, to basically with a goal to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, sea, and marine resources for sustainable development. This is an ocean emergency, and coastal eutrophication, ocean acidification, ocean warming, plastic pollution, overfishing. Right? Citizen science, we have ocean plastic pollution, suffocating seas, we have crustacean walkouts. So this SDG is important because oceans are vital for life on Earth, providing food, oxygen, and regulating the climate. Healthy oceans are essential for sustainable development and human well-being. By conserving and sustainably using marine resources, we can protect fisheries and aquaculture to ensure food security for millions of people. Healthy oceans can help protect coastal communities from storms and erosion. Conserving marine biodiversity is essential for health of the planet. We have the key focus areas in terms of marine pollution, reducing plastic pollution, particularly single-use plastics, controlling nutrient pollution from agriculture and wastewater, cleaning up marine debris and preventing its entry into the ocean, and then overfishing, promoting sustainable fishing practices, including selective fishing and avoiding overfishing, establishing and managing marine protected areas to conserve marine biodiversity, combating illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, marine biodiversity, conserving marine ecosystems such as coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds, protecting endangered marine species such as sharks, turtles, and whales, addressing ocean acidification, which threatens marine life and ecosystem. SDG 15 is life on land, basically to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. A fundamental shift in humanity relationship with nature is essential, and to 100 million hectares of healthy and productive land was degraded every year from 2015 to 19. That's exactly what we are seeing the figure. So it is important because terrestrial ecosystems provide essential services such as clean air, water, and food. By protecting and restoring these ecosystems, forests absorb carbon dioxide and help regulate the climate. Protecting biodiversity is essential for health of the planet and human well-being. Healthy ecosystems support agriculture and food products. Key focus areas in this are deforestation, implementing policies and measures to reduce deforestation and forest degradation, planting trees to restore forest and increase forest cover, promoting sustainable forest management practices, desertification, taking steps to achieve land degradation neutrality, promoting sustainable land management practices such as agroforestry and conservation agriculture, implementing measures to combat desertification and restore degraded land, and then protecting terrestrial ecosystems such as forests, grasslands, and wetlands, conserving endangered species and their habitats, protecting genetic diversity within species. SDG 16 is on peace, justice, and strong institutions with a goal to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Why it is important? Because peaceful and inclusive societies' access to justice and strong institutions are essential for sustainable development. By promoting peace, justice, and strong institutions, conflict and violence can hinder economic development and exacerbate poverty. Peace and stability are essential for providing quality education and healthcare. Strong institutions and the rule of law are necessary to protect human rights. So the key focus areas for this are reducing violence, implementing measures to prevent and address violence against women and children, strengthening law enforcement and criminal justice systems to reduce crime, promoting peaceful conflict resolution and combating terrorism, and promoting transparency and accountability in government and business, implementing effective measures to prevent and punish corruption, strengthening judicial systems to ensure fair and impartial justice, then promoting participatory governance and inclusive decision making, ensuring the rule of law and equal access to justice, protecting human rights and fundamental freedom. Finally, we have SDG 7, partnerships for the goals, to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Many developing countries are facing a debt crisis. 2 in 3 people used the internet, and in 2022, 259 million are more male than female users. So no single country or organizations can achieve SDG alone. Global partnerships are essential to mobilize resources, share knowledge, and promote technology transfer. By working together, we can accelerate progress towards a sustainable future. The key focus areas for this SDG are mobilizing domestic and international financial resources to support SDGs, increasing official development assistance to developing countries, encouraging public-private partnerships to finance sustainable development projects, promoting scientific and technological cooperation, building the capacity of developing countries to implement SDGs, sharing data and information to support evidence-based decision-making, and finally, the technology access, promoting the transfer of technology to developing countries and encouraging innovation, technological development to address global challenges. So these are all the 17 sustainable development goals as prescribed by the United Nations, which are expected to be achieved by 2030. I'm sure you are all aware of it, and let us take a oath that we will all be working in the direction to achieve all these sustainable development goals. Only then we will all have a cleaner air and a happy living earth. So thank you very much for your kind attention. And if you want to watch more related